What's poppin', peeps? T-Money up in the heezy. Happy Friday. Here to report for Body Bags. The week is 2:30, and the film I am going to discuss and attempt to review for you guys today is called A Dark Song from 2016. It is the directorial debut from Liam Gavin, and it stars basically two characters in this film. Stephen Aram plays Joseph Solomon, and Catherine Walker plays Sophia Howard. I'll read you guys the synopsis. Grieving Sophia despairs over the tragic loss of her murdered son. Desperate to somehow make contact with the boy she has lost, Sophia believes her prayers are answered when she crosses paths with the reclusive Joseph. An expert in the occult, Joseph reluctantly agrees to aid Sophia through a series of dark and forbidden rituals in order to bring her child back to the world of the living. Pushed to their physical and psychological breaking points, Sophia and Joseph make a disturbing descent into the most depraved corners of black magic. The debut feature from Liam Gavin, A Dark Song sustains an air of quiet, creeping dread, tensely building towards a confrontation with evils unknown to our earthly bounds. This is a strange movie in the sense that it is not like your typical The Conjuring, action-packed, summoning of demons, chaos, it's not like that. The film is really about two characters who come together to perform a ritual seance to bring back a woman's dead child, just like I read in the synopsis. But it's a slow burn, and it takes about an hour to get to the actual meat of what's happening because they're preparing for this, and it's a real ritual in every sense of the word. It requires so much preparation. It requires the character of Sophia, to make a lot of sacrifices, to do a lot of crazy things, starve herself, drink a random person's blood. Those are among multiple things that she has to do. There's one scene where she has to sit still for 2 days, not eat. She can't leave to pee or anything, so she literally pisses on the floor. It's like that sort of crazy heights that she has to go to in order to potentially succeed in bringing her dead son back to talk with him. But the film is very unique. Did I already read the synopsis?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll talk about some of the things that I loved about the film. The set design was beautiful. They do a lot with a little. It's a low-budget, independent film, but it looks top-notch. The lighting is excellent. Everything from the candles and the way everything is arranged on the floor of the house to just that sort of thing. I mean, it looks really. It's not like a gothic feel, but it's like, I don't know. The house is beautiful that they're in. So Sophia rents a house to conduct this ritual in, and it just. You get this sense, from the set design, that they're a great sense of isolation, like they're far away from a lot of people. They just do a really good job of capturing the vibe and making you feel like, as a viewer, like you're there with them to stay and you can't leave and you're in this. It's just unique in that sense. I like the fact that there was a subtle religious tone. It wasn't like pounding over the head. In fact, they talk about the power of religion versus science and I mean magic versus science, and that magic is, I don't know, I forget what he says exactly, but okay, so what I love just as much as the set design, there are two things: the acting and the set design. The acting from these two characters is phenomenal. I don't know which one I like better. Probably Joseph Solomon, or Steve Aram's portrayal of Joseph Solomon, the occultist, just because I think he did an amazing job of playing this complex alcoholic occultist who is he has these primal instincts, and he's very dominating. He forces Sophia to do these crazy things that are very uncomfortable as a viewer to watch, but it's just it's an amazing portrayal of two troubled people who come together kind of with I feel that they both have separate intentions, whereas Sophia, her intention is to bring back her dead son, plain and simple, at all costs. And Stephen Aram, or Joseph's intention, I think, may partially be to exert dominance over this person, and kind of like, okay, if you're gonna do this with me, you're gonna do whatever I say, and to that he fully takes advantage of the situation and her, what's the word? Her desperation, I guess. So beautiful set design, sound effects are amazing. I like the fact that it was a subtle religious tone, very unique take on religion. I wrote ritualistic subgenre of horror. Fantastic acting, performances from the two leads, which I mentioned. Succeeds in creating great tension, isolation, claustrophobia. Claustrophobia, the fact that they can't leave the house. Because in the beginning, when they're setting up the ritual, Joseph tells Sophia, okay, so he seals off the house, like the perimeter of the house with salt. And he says to her, he leaves like this tiny, like 2-foot gap before sealing it on each side. And he's like, okay, I'm going to seal this now. You cannot leave. We're going to be in here. Could be anything from 4 to 12-month duration that we're in here doing this. But if you want to do this, you can't leave. So this is your last chance. And she says, let's do it. Seal it. So then as soon as he seals that salt, okay, they're trapped inside. They're not going anywhere. I thought that was really interesting. And also it just, that kind of, from that point on, it created, I don't know, what am I trying to say? They're not going anywhere. Claustrophobia, yes. Claustrophobia. I already mentioned that the set design was amazing. They did a lot with so little. Contained horror, beautiful cinematography. Also, so the set design, the film was shot and looked amazing. Like, it looked like it was a high-class film. For lack of a better description, it looked like it was $1 million film, but it was on a shoestring budget, a very small budget. And I think that is mainly due to the fact that the cinematographer and the set designers both were aces. They definitely knew what they were doing. Also, towards the end, the third act of the film. So the first act of the film, like I said, they're setting up the ritual, and not a lot is happening, but I think it's enough to keep the dynamic between the two, and the things that Sophia needs to do in order to prepare for this is enough to keep you interested. But then towards like the second and third act is when I forget, what did they call it? The angel of something and the demon is summoned. And she knows, Solomon tells her, there's a chance that this isn't all going to be peaches and cream. And he says to her, you're aware that there could be this negative repercussions that could cost you your life. Things can go wrong, and it's, and she says, yes, yes, and she goes along with it. But that being said, when it gets to the third act and you start seeing the images and the voices, they don't do a lot with special effects in this film. A lot of it is just the voices that you're hearing inside of the house, and I think that also can be attributed to the sound in the film. I don't know if I touched on that, but the sound effects are very, very, what's the word? God. I don't know. Effective. Yes, they are very effective indeed. So basically the images that they do give you, although there aren't a lot, are great. I mean, there's a little CGI incorporated at the end, and that's all fine and dandy. But it is more about what you hear in this film than what you see, I think, in terms of the fright that's created. So yeah, I know this film is kind of difficult, to be honest, for me to review. I don't really know. I watched it twice now, and I don't really know how to articulate my feelings about it. But I enjoy it. So if you're down for a good slow burn, some very creepy atmosphere, some very good acting, and just kind of a unique spin on the supernatural subgenre of horror, I would recommend you check it out. All right, guys, I'll catch y'all next week on Body Bags, where horror lies. Peace.